Welcome back to another episode of the Nintendo Wiretap. My name is Amiibo Jason, and on today's episode we're taking a look at some unseen Earthbound 64 footage. So without further ado, let's take a look. Alright, I know that the Mother series, Earthbound in the USA, is kind of notorious for having sequels that never made it over to the US or any English-speaking countries. I'm looking at you, Mother 3. Now, the only games in the Mother series we've seen in the USA is Earthbound for the Super Nintendo, and not that long ago, I think it was about 4 years ago, maybe 5, we saw Earthbound Beginnings, which was the very first official English translation of the original NES version of Mother. This was released on the Wii U Virtual Console. Now, obviously, Mother 3 is probably never making its way to the US, at least that's the way it seems, but you might not know this, but Mother 3 originally started development on the Nintendo 64. Now, we have seen in the past some promotional video from this game. Nothing major, only a few seconds of footage at a time, but earlier today, from the good folks over at NeoGAF, we got our very first look at some brand new footage from this Earthbound 64. And as a major Mother fan, I'm exceptionally excited to see this. Now, this footage essentially came from Nintendo Space World 1996, from what appears to be a Japanese-only show called Game Catalog 2. Now keep in mind, this is a very short clip of this game, but there's some really interesting things to point out here. Now, it is shown to be Mother 3 directly from this video. A big 3 is on the screen, so it's obvious what they're showing off. Now, in this footage, we see things like a hovercraft, a live band performance, and even a pig-themed enemy. Now, it's really important to notice that all of these items, the hovercraft, the band, and the pig-themed enemies, these were in the final version of Mother 3 on the Game Boy Advance. And keep in mind, this is years and years before that game eventually ended up coming out. So it's really interesting to see that the story that eventually turned out to be Mother 3 looks to be at least partially completed when this footage was shot. So when they did move development from Nintendo 64 to Game Boy Advance, that the main story, at least from what we can see, actually stayed intact, which in my opinion is really cool. Now, I do want to thank the YouTube channel Coon for uploading this video, and there is a Reset Era thread I have linked in the description down below that you can essentially take a look at if you want to see even more information about this story. But what do you guys think about this? Now, personally, I really want to see a prototype for this game on Nintendo 64. There's something really just interesting about the Mother series to me. I loved Earthbound, I played the fan translation of Mother 3, but the fact that Mother has just been so odd in making its way to the US makes this story just really nostalgic and cool for me. So here's hoping even more footage ends up making its way out in the future. And who knows, maybe Nintendo might release a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition with this finished game on it. I know that's probably a pipe dream, but who knows? Keep dreaming. Alright, that's going to do it for tonight's Nintendo Wiretap. I'll see you soon with yet another episode, but as always, until then, stay wired in. Bye, guys.